What it do? Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your boy Mongo Slade, and we're going to talk today Royal Rumble Retrospective 1997. And this Royal Rumble was odd. There were some oddities in this Royal Rumble. For starters, there was AAA guys in this Royal Rumble. Also, it was a fuck finish, which was great, and it was a fantastic fucking finish. It was so good. It was really good. So, but this Royal Rumble was kind of, Now, I judge Royal Rumbles by looking at the A story, the B story, the C story, the Final Four, the Iron Man, and who actually won. And then, of course, I look at the quality of the talent involved. So the A story going into this show was Steve Austin and Bret Hart. They had been feuding for several months. They had a match at the Survivor Series. Bret Hart is frustrated. He keeps getting screwed out of his title shots and title matches. And Steve Austin has been a thorn in his side, and he's really not liking it. He's really not a fan. The B story going into this thing was Ahmed Johnson and Nation of Domination, which is my favorite feud when I was a kid. I couldn't, and it's not because they were black guys. It just felt legit to me. Like, I remember, I have my memory is not that great. I tell you that much. But which makes the channel so much fun because I don't remember shit. So, and I feel like if you put too much research, you're trying to sound like a know-it-all. But I remember as a kid when Ahmed Johnson won the Intercontinental title, and all of my friends were like really excited because they were like Ahmed Johnson fans. I didn't give a shit. I didn't care about Ahmed Johnson. But then he got cost the Intercontinental title, and they were talking about this. I think it was lungs or kidneys or whatever. It was some type of internal organ that was lacerated, and he couldn't wrestle, and it was Farouk's fault. And that led this feud, which lasted for like a year and a half. Like, they were just going at it constantly. Like, that shit was great. They were fighting all the time. Like, it was nuts. And then I don't remember them having a lot of matches either. But they did have a match on this show. They had a match earlier in the night. This is when Ahmed Johnson probed for plunged D'Lo Brown through a table, which was nuts at the time. Man, in 1997, I was 13. Man. And I'm not really watching ECW at the time. So this was like the first time I had really seen somebody. Like, it wasn't the first time I seen somebody get put through a table. But it felt big. Like, for somebody to do something that was really different. Like a power bomb through a table, like it was nuts. Of course, I had seen Diesel put Shawn Michaels through a table and that kind of stuff. I had seen people get put through tables, but that felt like it was out of control. Like, that felt nuts. And the C story was the crazy finish that came out of the match, which is Bret getting screwed. Which, of course, that means it's 2 Bret Hart stories. And so the winner was Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the number 1 was Crush. Not a fan of Crush. Not a fan, especially not of Jailbird Crush. I don't know what they were trying to do, but I did like in this match that they let the managers stay outside the ring. So throughout the night, you see Hillbilly Jim out there and Sable's out there and Wolfie D and another kid from PG-13. They were out there, and different managers would like hang out outside the ring to try to get their guys to perform better and do better and stuff like that. And I kind of missed that today. Like, there's not a lot of managers at ringside anymore. Like, managers barely even come out with guys anymore. But number 2 was Ahmed Johnson, and it was dope. It was dope. Now, these 2 guys, they were 2 guys with 2 left feet, so they didn't do much of anything. They were just falling all over each other, and Ahmed was trying to be intense and throw punches and stuff like that, but they kept falling down. They were like permanently in a ball. It was like watching a Looney Tunes cartoon where, they get into a fight and it's like dust and legs and shit all over the place, legs and arms all over the place. That's what it felt like watching these 2 idiots. So then number 3 was the Fake Razor. The Fake Razor, his name was Rick Bogner. I thought, so this guy's actually dead now, I believe. I remember the Fake Razor when I first saw the Fake Razor. I laughed my ass off. Even as a kid, I thought it was the most hilarious thing in the world. Because I was like, this guy looks nothing like Scott Hall. This guy, he trying to work like Scott Hall, too. Like, the mimicking of the punch. Oh, the mimic of the punch was great. The mimic of the punch was the best thing about the fake razor. That shit was awesome. Like, if you go watch Rick Bogner throw punches like he's Scott Hall, man, that's a great mockery, dog. That's a great parody. Unfortunately, this guy's dead now. But I do remember Scott Hall said that he felt like Elvis because he had an imposter. Which is a 100% Scott Hall thing to think. It's like, I got an imposter. I must be cool. Number 4 is Phineas Godwin, median, for those of you who didn't bother to watch anything other than the Attitude Era. So Ahmed Johnson saw Farouk in the aisle. Farouk, he just saw the shadow of Farouk, and he was on it. He jumped over the top rope to chase him down the aisle, and they both disappeared. While that happened, Phineas was in the ring with Crush because Fake Razor was gone. He didn't last very long. In any reason that you might want to think. Stone Cold Steve Austin came in at number 5, which was awesome. And Stone Cold just, of course, started raising hell. His eliminations throughout the night was pretty, like, a long list. I think he eliminated, like, maybe 7 people throughout this entire show. Phineas Godwin, Bart Gunn, Jake Roberts, Owen Hart, Mark Merrow, Savio Vega, Road Dogg Jesse James, Bret Hart, Undertaker, Vader. He laid a lot of guys. The British Bulldog. No, I'm skipping. Bart Gunn was number 6. Steve Austin was in the ring by himself at this point. And Bart Gunn, Brawl for All. That's the only thing I can think of. Number 7 was Jake the Snake Roberts. So when you see, if you go back and watch this match, and Jake the Snake Roberts comes in, and they say it, and I couldn't believe it when they said it, but Jake the Snake Roberts was only 42 years old when he stepped into this match. AJ Styles is 42 years old. Now I know that's wow. You look at Jake Roberts, he looked 70 when he stepped into this ring. He got the haunches, he had a paunch, he was fat. And of course, it was the drugs and everything, the alcohol, but Jesus, bro. He looked beat to shit. He was only 42. He was only 42. When I was watching Smoky Mountain on the network, which they only put up the Thrill Seeker stuff. Like, they thought I wasn't going to pay attention to that. I went to look at Smoky Mountain because I was like, I want to watch this shit. And everything, the entire shit, is just Thrill Seeker stuff. Like, all you care about is Chris Jericho, so we just going to put Chris Jericho stuff on here. I'm like, well, put the rest of this shit. But there was, this stuff was like 3 or 4 years prior, like 94, 95 or something like that. And Jake Roberts looks old then. And that means he had to be in his 30s. He had to be like 36 or something like that. Probably not 36, probably 38 or something like that. That's nuts. This guy looks old as shit at 42. God, man, he beat the hell out of his body. That shit is a shame. Number 8 was Pirat. Number 8 is the British Bulldog, I'm sorry. Number 9 is Pirat, who is a AAA guy. The AAA guys that were in this match were Pirat, Mil Mascaras, Latin Lover, and Cybernetico. None of them got any phone response except Mil Mascaras. And that was still tepid. Okay. Because a lot of people were trying to respond to Mil Mascaras, but they were kind of like, like, okay, you could have put Mil Mascaras in it and just took the rest of these guys out. But I don't know who else they could have put in this match. I don't remember the roster in 97. The Sultan, oh boy, was number 10. The Sultan is Fatu in the mask. Number 11 was Mil Mascaras, who of course refused to do jobs, so he had to get eliminated. He had to eliminate himself when it came time to be eliminated. Number 12 was Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He was seconded by, I think, Mr. Hughes at the time, but I don't think Mr. Hughes came to the ring with him. The reason why the AAA guys were in there is because it was a Hispanic market and Vince was having trouble moving tickets. I think they still heavily papered the arena. How much paper they used, I don't know. And I don't care, with being honest, but because it didn't work. You put Mil Mascaras on the card and all these guys, and it still didn't work. So that should teach people about these crossovers, right? Like, crossovers almost never work, because you have the audience that don't know them, and then other people don't care. They want to see the guys that they pay to see, you know? It's like, Mil Mascaris is great and all, but they didn't pay to see Mil Mascaris. They didn't care about him or Cybernetico and any rest of these guys. So, the crowd didn't know who they were and they didn't care. So, number 12 was Triple H. Number 13 was Owen Hart. Owen Hart and Steve Austin got into it immediately for the Bret Hart thing, obviously. Number 14 was Goldust. He continued his story with Triple H. They had met earlier that night, and they were going at it pretty much throughout the show. The Bulldog was eliminated by Owen Hart, and which led me to me laughing at Bulldog. He threw me out, you idiot. You threw me out. He is so loud. You idiot. Bulldog is a great Royal Rumble performer. Before this year, 1997, Bulldog was a sure shoe-in to be near the end of a Royal Rumble or a Battle Royal. You know, he was utilized pretty well in the Battle Royal circuit for WWE. And then they just decided they didn't need him anymore, which sucks. Mark Merrow was number 16. During Mark Merrow's entrance, we started getting all these eliminations. So you started seeing, I think Mil Mascaris eliminated Pirate, and I think Cybernetico was also eliminated. No, who was eliminated? I wrote it down, I'm sure. Shit, I don't know. I know the AAA guys, and this is when Mil Mascaris jumped over the top rope and eliminated himself. And people actually booed when Mil Mascaris tried to get back in the ring. So that he did have some people there who knew who he was and was interested in him. Not many, though. They said Mil Mascaris had been in the business for 30 years in 1997. I saw Mil Mascaris wrestle a match in 2000. I've seen Mil Mascaris wrestle matches recently, within the last 2 or 3 years. He's basically immobile at this point. He can't even do like the flying head thing that he does anymore. He can't even do that shit anymore. But they say he had been in the business 30 years at this point. Mil Mascaris was one, and he was not the oldest man in this match, I don't believe. Because Terry Funk was in this match. 1997 was a struggle. I guess him and Terry Funk were both in this match, and they both were wrestling in the 70s. Jesus. I lost my place. 15. 15 was Cybernetico. Number 17, I'm sorry. 16 was Mark Merrow. That's when all the AAA guys started getting eliminated. Cybernetico was 15. Number 17 was the Latin Lover. He came in. He kicked Goldust in the ass, which is pretty funny. Number 18 was Farouk of the Nation of Domination. And this is when I popped. And I pop every time I see this. Because Farouk comes in. He kind of lays down the law a little bit. And then here comes Ahmed Johnson with this gigantic 2x4. He got a giant 2x4 that he's swinging so recklessly. Yes, that shit was great. He only hit him once with it, but he went flying over the top rope, and it was great. It was fantastic, man. That led to of course, the Chicago Street Fight, which is still my favorite match from WrestleMania 13, along with Steve Austin and Bret Hart. But that Chicago Street Fight does not get enough credit. It's Ahmed Johnson and the Road Warriors versus the Nation of Domination. It was Farouk, Crush, and Savio Vega. Man, that match was so much fun. I loved that match so much when I was a kid, man. I might watch that match again soon. Because it's almost time to start watching WrestleMania matches, so we'll see. Number 19 was Savio Vega. And he had some history with Steve Austin, so they kind of built upon that when they came in, with him bumping Steve Austin a bunch of times before he got eliminated. Road Dogg Jesse James, or he was just Jesse James at the time. He was Double J Jesse James. Because this was after they had exposed that he was the one really singing In My Baby Tonight. Ha! What a terrible angle that was. Even though he legit can sing, which was strange. Do not tell Vince McMahon you can sing or play guitar or anything like that. So Jesse James went in there long. He got out. Number 21 was the Hitman Bret Hart. And this is fantastic. Okay. Bret Hart, he comes in, he's jacked, he's tanned. If Sting had walked into Starrcade looking like that, Sting would have won, no problem. Jacked and tanned. Steve Austin is in the ring, head down. He does not give a shit because he's tossing guys out. He's in the ring by himself. He hears that guitar riff, and his big blue eyes just became like the size of quarters. And he grabs his bald head, and his mouth is agape. Everybody knows the sight that I'm talking about. When that's perfect, that's skill. That's masterful stuff. To be able to sell it and make it look natural, it didn't look like they rehearsed it at all. Because, and he, of course, he knew Bret was next. You know, like he had to have known. But it was flawless that they had been telling this story all night of Steve Austin basically thumping guys and then him doing push-ups or him looking at his wrist tape and doing all this sort of stuff. And then the guitar riff hits and he's like, fuck. Like I'm stuck with Bret. You know, this shit was great, man. It was great. I love this. This made me happy. I love this. Jerry King Lawler was number 22. Jerry Lawler came in the ring, got punched twice and tossed over the top rope. And it got one of the nicer pops of the evening. Like Bret Hart's, that guitar riff got a huge pop, monster pop. Jerry Lawler getting eliminated also got a pretty big pop. The fake Diesel, who was Glenn Jacobs, who ended up being Kane for the younger viewers, he came in at number 23 and he was jacked. I was like, Jesus. And the crazy thing is Kane was born the next year. No, 97. Kane was born a few months after this. So fake Diesel was gone, and then Kane was born because Kane was there in 97, late 97. I hope I'm not. Yeah, late 97. Yeah. He was jacked. He was jacked to the gills, dog. That dude was big. That's a big guy. So then Terry Funk was number 24. Everything you remember about Terry Funk, the blood and guts, hardcore, chainsaw Charlie, him blowing himself up, his love affair with Mick Foley, all the stuff you remember about Terry Funk was well after he was supposed to already be retired. Terry Funk retired technically in 1984. He was still wrestling in 1997. He's well over 50 at this point. Because what was he? What was he in ECW? They kept saying his age, but I can't remember it now. But he was over 50 at this point. And it was nuts that they put Terry Funk in this match. But what made it even more fun is that I remember from Shotgun Saturday Night, and I have not seen this since it happened, by the way, which was in 1997. The Terry Funk, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shotgun Saturday Night segment was fucking great. I can't wait till they put that stuff on the network. I may actually go and do Shotgun Saturday Night, the first couple of episodes of Shotgun Saturday Night, when they was doing on location stuff. That shit was fun. When they started doing basically C-show stuff, and it was basically like jobber matches and stuff like that, that shit was not fun. I don't watch that. I know there's a lot of people out there that go back and watch jobber matches like Velocity and shit, because they like seeing like Bobby Roode was in there and Christopher Daniels and stuff like that. I just don't have the interest to sit down and watch jobber matches. I really don't, you know? I watched enough of that shit when I was a kid, because that's all I had access to. Now I kind of, I don't know. But I do want to see those early episodes of Shotgun Saturday Night when they was in like bars and shit. That shit was fun. That shit was fun. It used to come on syndication like 10 at night, because it was supposed to be a tryout for the Attitude Era. They used to try to pair that stuff with ECW, because ECW used to come on like midnight or something like that. So it was pretty sweet. But no, it used to come on 11 then. Yeah, Shotgun Saturday Night came on at 11. So Terry Funk was old as hell in this match. Rocky Maivia was number 25. And Vince is really excited about Rocky Maivia. He's really putting him over, talking about he's the rookie. he was so excited. Mankind was number 26. Of course, he had to get in there with Mick Foley, with Terry Funk. Number 27 was Flash Funk, aka Too Cold Scorpio for my young viewers. He's wearing a bodysuit. Ugh. Yikes. Pimp in a spaceman bodysuit. Jesus Christ. He was supposed to be a pimp. He was dressed like a fucking astronaut. He was wearing a fucking suit. Why? Why? Where did you get... If he's going to be a pimp... never mind. They did it right later with The Godfather, but come on, dog. Jesus. Oh, Flash, you are so funky. Number 28 was Vader. And this just reminded me how bad they treated Vader in the WWE. He had wrestled Undertaker earlier in the night and won. But nobody cares because he had been jobbed out so much and they had not really done anything with him. But Vader was so much fun. He's really fun. At some point during this match, there was some exchanges between Bret, Terry Funk and Steve Austin when they were chopping each other in that corner. And Terry Funk was selling it like he had got hit with a bat. Oh, Jesus. Terry Funk also botched a power driver. That he was about to pull a power driver on Bret and he botched it. I'm pretty sure Bret was pretty mad about that. I think they worked together at some benefit show not too long after this. It was Bret Hart and Terry Funk. I'm trying to remember what show it was. I'm pretty sure I saw it, but I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure Bret probably gave him a good talking to. He probably he probably chastised over 50-year-old Terry Funk for botching a power driver. Henry Godwin was number 29. Who cares, right? Hog man. Undertaker was number 30. Of course, he got a monster reaction. And he went in there, and I love that everybody basically just like, okay, you can wrap it up. Undertaker's coming in, and you can pretty much shut everything down. This was one of the few times where there was still plenty of guys in the ring when number 30 comes in. There was still like a lot of guys in the ring. So Undertaker got to chokeslam Vader, which is really cool. And he got to beat up some of the other guys. Vader's elimination of Flash Funk needs to be talked about more when it comes to great eliminations out of the Royal Rumble. He did a fall-away slam. He basically grabbed this man like a fall-away slam and threw him over his head. Just get out of the ring. And I was like, holy shit. And every time I see it, I'm just like, holy shit. That's sadly enough, one of the highlights of Flash Funk's career in the WWE. The Foley and Funk stuff was really good. This was a pretty long match, you know. Mankind and Funk. So we get into the finishing stretch. Austin had been in the match for about 30 some odd minutes. He's the Iron Man. He came in. He lasted the longest amount of time. He was number 5. So at about the 34 minute mark for Austin, Mankind and Funk, you know, eliminated pretty much each other. And they get into a fight outside the ring. And while they're fighting, the referees are distracted trying to stop them from fighting to get them to go to the back. During this, Bret Hart throws out Stone Cold Steve Austin. He threw him out. He was eliminated. But the referees are distracted. They don't see it. Undertaker is tangled up with Vader on one side. Bret is tangled up with Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. the fake Diesel, on the other side. Steve Austin just slides in the ring, dumps Undertaker and Vader, and then once Bret dumps fake Diesel, he dumps Bret. Steve Austin wins the match. Excellent finish. Bret then proceeds to lose his fucking mind and nut up and yank on Vince McMahon and yell at the refs, and Steve Austin walks away having won. No debate, no arguing. He just said, he got his hand raised, he took off. So they left Bret to do the acting part, which is excellent. And you can see Vince McMahon is like, he felt so bad for Bret. Like he didn't book this shit. He felt so bad for Bret. Imagine Bret Hart. Wow. And Jerry Lawler is like, maybe his feet didn't touch the floor. This was great. This was a great story, great finish to a weak match. This match was weak. On paper, if you look at all the people who are in it, this match is weak as fuck. Fucking Cibernetico and Latin Lover and the Sultan and shit like them. Them people were in it. But this match was great because the finish made up for everything. 10 out of 10 fucking finish. And they have not even attempted to do anything like it since, which fucking sucks. Like, you should always have people trying to cheat in the Royal Rumble. This was great. You know, Steve Austin got away. He stole one. And this also led to one of my favorite matches, which was Final Four the next month. Because Steve Austin did cheat, they did not give him his... he's technically the winner of the Royal Rumble, but he did not get the title match. And then they said that, you know, I think Shawn lost his smile or something like that, and he had to give up the belt because Shawn did not want to work with Bret. And so Bret ended up winning the belt at Final Four and then losing it to See It the next night. And that was a great exchange of things. Even though that's a little hot potato with the belt, it ended up being Undertaker and See It, which is, you know, was cool for me. I didn't mind Undertaker and See It. But let me know what you guys thought of Royal Rumble 1997 in the comment section below. Use the hashtag 3Count Commentaries to support 3Count Commentaries. Thank you guys for your time. You want to buy me a shawarma? Send me some money in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Yeah.